Super Rugby quarter-final number 2, folks, sees the number 1 Chiefs up against the number 8 Red side. We're going to go through some lineups, some stats, predictions, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. It's kind of weird that by some kind of strange twist of fate, the only side who managed to down the Chiefs during the regular season was the Reds, and that's the side they meet in the quarterfinal. Albeit, I know people will say, it wasn't a full-strength Chiefs side, or wasn't in Hamilton, but ultimately, this Red side have beaten the Chiefs this year. They're going to be up against it, but there's at least that kind of mental little bit of encouragement that they have kind of done it before. That game was 25-22, and if you remember, the Reds just defended like demons in that one. So we'll be hard-pressed to do it 2 times in a row, but in knockout footy, stranger things have happened. For the Chiefs, they've brought back a bunch of their players who did not make the trip to Perth to play the Force in that final game. So you got Aidan Ross, Samisoni, Taukei'aho, and John Ryan starting in the front row. So Taukei'aho and Ross have come back into the 23 after not playing the last game. Likewise, Retallick and Lord. Lord's back fit, and Retallick's back for this one, so it's a whole new lock-in duo. Finau moves to number 6. Sam Cane is back at 7, and Luke Jacobson's back at 8. So 2 of your kind of top tacklers in Super Rugby this year, and Cane and Jacobson are going to try and basically shut down everything that Red side can throw at them. Weber is also back at 9. He is co-captain, and Damian McKenzie is there at 10. So another couple of guys who didn't make that trip over to Perth, who should be kind of feeling nice and fresh and rested. They'll be bossing the show at 9 and 10. I mean, Damian McKenzie's top point scorer of the competition. He has just been, he's been on fire all year. And there's no reason he shouldn't continue that form on into the knockout stages. Poihipi moves out to the 12 jersey. Lienert-Brown back to 13. So kind of more familiar spots for those two guys. Narawa is back on the right wing. Nanai-Seturo continues on the left. And then you got Shaun Stevenson, who scored a kind of whopping 11 tries this year, is there at fullback. So, man, there's a lot of firepower in this Chiefs lineup. We'll get to their stats in a second. But their back three in particular, the tactical kicking game all year has been... it's been troublesome for other sides to deal with. What can I say? Slater, Norris, and Dyer, that is your front row replacements. Kuoi is there on the bench. He drops down from a starting role last week. So Sowakula's still there. And then backs, you got Ratima, Ioane, and Daniel Runa there. There's a few guys who kind of miss out through injury, including Alex Nankavo, Tupa Vai, etc. Vai is kind of one of their top men disrupting opposition line-out balls, so he will certainly be missed at set-piece time. But Josh Lord and Brodie Retallick, not a bad lock and duo to have, you'd have to say. For the Reds, they have kept things kind of relatively stable to that side that went over to Fiji and lost to the Drua. Ravai, Fassler, and Whakase are the front rows, and Whakase gets a start after being on the bench last time. I've been pretty impressed with Fassler all year. He looks to be kind of on the radar for Eddie Jones going into the... going into the Rugby Championship and initial Wallabies training squads and whatnot. Angus Blythe, Ryan Smith are your locks. Ryan Smith's one of their top line-up men, so expect a fair bit of ball to go his way. Likewise, Seru Uru at number 6. He's kind of lock loose forward, so he's another option at line-up time. Fraser McCright and Harry Wilson, 7 and 8. It's a good back row, man. Uru, especially in the air. McCright, he's like the top tackler in the entire competition of Super Rugby. Also the most turnovers won. So his battle up against Sam Cane is going to be fascinating. And Harry Wilson, with that work rate, more carries than anybody else in Super Rugby. So, yeah, there's something about that that Reds back row. McDermott's capped it at 9, and Tom Liner gets the 10 jersey this week after being on the bench for the last one. So James O'Connor shifts to number 12. He's had about 7 try assists this year, so he's certainly able to unlock a defence. Dalgunu switches to 13, which is a slightly unfamiliar one for him, I guess. I'm certainly more used to seeing him on the wing. Fluke shifts to the wing. Vunivalu's on the other wing, and then Jock Campbell is there at 15. Bench-wise, Asiata, Zander, Nongor, those are your front row replacements. 5-4, and upfield are your other forward replacements, and then Kalani Thomas, Lawson Crichton, and Taj Anand, who I think has been back from under-20s duties. Is back. Hunter Paisami's injured. Liam Wright's got a shoulder injury, so they're missing a few guys as well. But, that's your Reds lineup to go to Hamilton for this quarterfinal. I promised some stats. It's kind of not surprising when you're going to look at all the attacking stats Run meters, it's the Chiefs. Clean breaks, it's the Chiefs. Defenders beaten, it's the Chiefs. But one of the things you might not think of, especially when you think of their head-to-head game, with the Reds defending like demons and holding out the Chiefs for as long as they did, the Chiefs have got the highest tackling percentage in the comp at 89.3. Anything around 90 is pretty top-level stuff. The Reds are 6th at 84.8, and they certainly shipped some points in their last game against the Drua. However, the Reds have got the second-best line-out in the game at 88.2. The Chiefs are down in 8th, 84.4. So the Reds' line-out is genuinely more consistent, but the Chiefs' scrum, I take the kind of scrum stats with a little bit of a grain of salt, just because your scrum could be under the pump going backwards, but if you get the ball out, it still kind of gives you a tick for a successful scrum. But still, for what it's worth, the Chiefs' scrum stats come out at number 1, and the Reds are down at number 12. So it's first against last, essentially. So we'll see if that plays out on the field or not. Remember, they've been without Taukei'aho pretty much the whole season, have the Reds. The Chiefs also have the most yellow cards, equally with 10. And the Reds the least with 5. So is there this kind of crazy situation in your heads where the Chiefs have a couple of players in the bin, the Reds get their line out going, some nice set plays, James O'Connor chucks a ball through to like Harry Wilson, who storms through for a try, gets them on the board early, puts a little bit of a seed of doubt into the minds of the Chiefs players, or are the Chiefs just going to run away with this one? Well, the predictions say the Chiefs are going to run away with it. The bookies are saying by 22 points, and the Rugby forecast algorithm is also saying by 22 points. So yeah, they're predicted to get it done very, very comfortably, despite the fact the last time they played, they only scored a grand total of 22 points. Remember, the Reds are flying back from Fiji, so there'll be a little bit of jet lag with them. The Chiefs guys coming back from Perth, which is equally not exactly a short distance, but as we mentioned, a lot of these Chiefs guys were rested for that final round, so they have been on the road for a couple of weeks, have the Chiefs. But yeah, you guys let us know what your thoughts are. Remember, it's on Flow Rugby for you guys in the States, so link down in the description for Flow. All the Super Rugby quarterfinals are on there, plus top 14 and Curry Cup and whatnot. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts. Chiefs, or can you see the Reds pulling off a wee miracle upset? You guys let us know your thoughts, and yeah, talk to you guys again soon. See ya.